SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C Spire. Power your home or business with C Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C Spire. C Spire Fiber powers Super Talk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game. Right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome in on a Wednesday, one day closer to the college football playoff semifinal between Ole Miss and Miami. We're going to talk about that today, as you can imagine. Right here on Sports Talk Mississippi, I'm Michael Borkey. He's Brian Hadad. So glad that you guys are with us, as you always are. We got a lot to get to. One, we'll talk more Fiesta Bowl. I caught up with our buddy Lee. He's a Miami guy, to get some keys to the game from his perspective. Players that Miami's going to try to target and how, and players that he thinks Ole Miss is going to try to exploit. And so good stuff there. Probably hear from Trinidad coming up. I liked his press conference, thought it was good. Well, we'll play that for you as well. We'll catch up with Greg McElroy. He was on the call of the Sugar Bowl, and obviously he watches all SEC football all the time, to get his perspective on the game coming up tomorrow. And you've got player retention stuff. You've got a big story featuring Washington and LSU and a quarterback and a contract that I think is going to shape the, let's call it the immediate future of college football. And so we'll talk about all that and more with you. So glad you guys are with us.
I want to let you know before we, can't do it mobily here in the state of Mississippi. But I had a friend, I reached out. I have placed the emotional insurance bet. It is done.
So you bet?
I bet Ole Miss to win the national title.
Oh, hey, Dad. Everybody's going to be so mad at you when they don't now that you said that. You jinx man.
One way, I got to get something out of this. I got to get something. You can get something out of your next trip to Pearl River Resort. That might be a great meal, watch a great show, enjoy 18 holes of golf, or just relax and kick your feet up and have a great time. You can do it all at Pearl River Resort. Book your stay right now at pearlriverresort.com. C Spire text line open to you, 601-879-4395. Ready for your winning strategy? Here it is. Join C Spire. All the technology and support you need to succeed at home, at work, and everywhere else. Visit cspire.com today. C Spire, inspired by you.
Ooh, yeah. Lucas, supremely confident, says Borkey, you meant one day closer to not having to talk about Ole Miss in the college football playoff, correct? That's what's going to happen.
Well, I had to have something. I got to get something out of this, Borkey. One way or the other, I got to have something. So, buddy of mine set the odds last night, and I was like, you know what? Put me down for $100. And we'll go from there.
Here's the problem, though, with Lucas's prognostication from December 22nd. Now that Ole Miss got the second easiest first-round game in college football playoff history out of the way, let's see what they look like versus Georgia. Dogs by 21+.
Well, Lucas, you're not on a good streak. But, we'll see. You can't miss them all.
You can't hit them all either.
You can't hit them all, but you can't miss them all.
You can't miss them all. Eventually, you will be right. So We'll get to all that stuff coming up, but this is a wild and significant story out of Washington featuring Lane Kiffin and LSU. Imagine that.
So I just want to say this. I'm going to give you a Ric Flair quote.
Mm-hmm.
Is Ric Flair talking about himself or Lane Kiffin in this quote? Are you ready? Here's the quote. One of my claims to fame, besides thousands of women, is that I am the dirtiest player in the game. The dirtiest. Now, is he talking about himself or is he talking about Lane Kiffin in that situation? I want to know.
Gosh dang it. I forgot to edit your name again.
Yeah, what is going on here?
The preset. I'm not saving the preset at the end of the show.
I got a great idea today.
Save the
preset? Do you want to hear it? Yeah. That's what I want to do.
Well, there you go. Now you say Brian Hadad. But while Lane Kiffin was sitting courtside with Sam Leavitt, the quarterback transfer from Arizona State, while they're sitting together on Sam Leavitt's visit, news broke that Washington quarterback Damon Williams is entering or is trying to enter. As we learned, he didn't enter the transfer portal. He can't, but the news was that Damon Williams is entering the transfer portal.
We have to go back a little further because earlier this week, I believe, or maybe last week, Washington announced that he was going to be back, and they had signed him to a deal.
He signed a new deal with Washington, and he claimed he was entering the portal with a do not contact tag, and the team to watch was LSU. Damon Williams previously committed to Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin. I think that's the Austin Simmons year. But either way. So there's the obvious connection there.
No, I think it's a...
I think that's the Austin Simmons year.
Yeah.
Because Simmons was at Ole Miss for 2 years before this year.
You could be right.
But either way, doesn't matter. There's a connection there. He was committed to Lane Kiffin, didn't end up going to Ole Miss, but there's a relationship, an obvious 1 + 1 = 2 situation. He entered the portal, or is trying to enter the portal, to go to LSU, despite having signed a deal with Washington. Mm-hmm. Of course, the ripple effect of that is Sam Leavitt did not commit to LSU like everybody thought, and he's on his way to Knoxville today. The problem with what Damon Williams is trying to do, which, by the way, apparently there was a student-athlete-wide celebration of life that was going on while this news broke, just gross all around in all of this, but, you know, it's college football, and it's
what it is.
The person involved. It is what it is. Damon Williams cannot enter the transfer portal because, according to Washington, and also lawyers that have read the agreement, it's binding. Here's some details from Ross Dellinger. Per sources to Yahoo Sports, Damon Williams signed a 1-year rev share agreement with Washington worth about $4 million. The agreement is a Big Ten template document used by all league members and built for situations exactly like this one. The agreement prohibits a player from entering the portal once signed. This is why Washington is refusing to put his name in the portal, because the contract says that once signed, he cannot for a year. It also prohibits the player's NIL rights to be used by any other school, though the player can sign outside marketing agreements. So what that means is he can't sign a rev share deal with another school, but he can go do a deal with Mississippi Farm Bureau or whatever. Big Ten Commissioner Tony
Our
Petitti.
Lady of the Lake Hospital.
Or Our Lady of the Lake Hospital. The commissioner of the Big Ten was in Seattle for the memorial service that I mentioned, so he was already there, is heavily involved in the matter along with other Big Ten officials. The league is standing behind Washington, denying his entry to the transfer portal and enforcing the contract. Washington officials are expected to communicate later today with Damon Williams' representatives regarding the situation and the next steps. Washington is refusing to enter his name in the portal. He is not permitted to hold conversations with other schools. Washington officials suspect that he's already held conversations with other programs. No duh. And they are submitting the evidence to the Big Ten and the NCAA, and Ross ends with this. LSU is believed to be the school most interested in Williams. So what Washington is claiming is that this contract is binding. It binds him to the school. And the Big Ten and all of their legal people wrote these contracts. They're blanket contracts for all Big Ten players, and they think it's pretty darn ironclad. Now, does it mean he can't, he can enroll as a walk-on and go play somewhere? Sure. But in terms of rev share and all that, somebody has to buy him out of this contract. And here, I've said that because George is doing the same thing with a player that went to Missouri, who, by the way, is back in the transfer portal. This is the way that schools can get their quote-unquote power back. If you sign a binding contract and you break it, you should be you should be forced to follow the rules of your contract. And I hope Washington wins. Not because LSU, because I hope Georgia wins. I think Wisconsin's also involved in something like this. I hope they win too. If these contracts are in fact binding, sorry, kid, this is what happens. When you sign a contract, you agree to every term when you put your signature on it. I said, kid, you're not a kid anymore. You're an adult. So this is going to get ugly, fast, and good.
And somebody asked on the text line, does Washington really want to force a quarterback to stay and play when he doesn't want to? It would be a weird thing to hold someone to. They don't want him anymore.
They don't want him anymore.
They're just not going to let him transfer. They're going to get their money out of this one way or the other.
Yes.
Right now, I just saw Matt Zenit's tweet. Bo Pribula is visiting Washington. They are moving on from Damon Williams, but they're not letting Damon Williams move on from Washington. They're going to go the punitive route. They feel like they've been undercut by LSU, and they're going to do whatever they got to do to fight it. And so be it.
So be it. Our friend Matt Moscona said, good luck Washington never signing a prospect again. These are blanket they all sign these contracts.
Yeah. And I want to point out, you know who called this, right? Charles Huff. Charles Huff, when he was on this show, talked about this. He said, that doesn't stop anything. Guys will just drop out of school, and then they'll go to the next school. But then that's what's going to happen.
Apparently, then you can't get rev share, which...
This is LSU. They will find a way to get money in his pocket.
I'm sure they will, but not before a pretty complicated legal situation. Go figure. Sports Talk Mississippi just getting started with you. We'll read some messages when we come back.
From the Venable.
I listen to it at work.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Did you get that memo?
Yes, sir.
Welcome back. Still talking about this Washington quarterback trying to transfer to LSU but can't because he signed a binding contract with Washington story. Somebody says every normal college football fan is rooting for Washington. Question from Ben, will Washington still have to pay him? I would assume yes. It's a contract.
There's got to be some,
It's a contract.
I heard the number I heard was $4 million.
$4 million is what
That's
Ross
a lot
reported.
to not have to play.
But what ultimately, I think, this is just, I think, not I know, he's going to play somewhere else next year.
Yeah.
And so what Washington does here is they enforce the contract and get money in return. Somebody buys him out of that contract.
Okay.
That would be my guess, right? I mean, that makes the most sense. Mm-hmm. Is very similar to coaches. You want out of your contract? Okay. You have to pay us for it. You want to hire my coach? Okay, you have to pay me for it. LSU had to write a 7-figure check to Ole Miss to hire Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
If these are binding contracts, that's what I would do. That is what I would do. But that's just me. James from Petal, I'm an LSU fan, but I'm pro schools using contracts for this type situation. There you go.
You got to be at this point because your school could be next is how you have to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Your school could be next. And so you just, you got to – if somebody – and this is the thing that like nobody made Williams sign this contract, right? He could have just been like, I'm going to get in the portal and just see what my value's worth.
Or I'm just not going to sign right now.
Kiffin talked about this once, and honestly, he was correct. He's like, every starting quarterback should get in the portal. Mm-hmm. See what your value is. See if you can make some more money. If you want to come back, you can. Just tell Washington, be like, hey, I'm just going to look around. If I get a better offer, I might go. I'll certainly give you a chance to match it, so on and so forth.
Yeah, people keep saying, like, the prevailing thought is, well, these contracts aren't binding. Apparently they are.
Yeah.
As it turns out, there's some binding to it. Fascinating. I mean, I really do think that this will not shape the sport because it's always changing and stuff like that. But if Washington's able to execute this, then you've got a standard by which it's very similar to the Nico thing, right? Tennessee were not victims to the shakedown. And I think that emboldened schools some. This, I think, is a very similar circumstance. That Any other school that's afraid of doing something like that shouldn't be anymore. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. That's the inevitable question. I've had somebody in my mentions the last couple of days that, well, Lacey signing means nothing. He's still for sale. It's like, I have not personally seen a rev share growth collective contract with Ole Miss. Knowing what we know about how they operate, I would be shocked if it does not resemble what Washington has. I mean, there's no way, maybe there is a way, but there's no way that they're going through all this trouble and making all of these announcements and doing all this, knowing what we know about them and the legal minds that have been behind structuring everything at Ole Miss wouldn't make sure that they can't just get got on these deals.
Someone says, you guys are obsessed with Kiffin. I'm willing to wager you can't go an hour without mentioning his name. He's been gone over a month. Get over it. I mean, I just need to know how much we're willing to bet, because we can certainly stop talking about it for a sizable amount of money.
People like this guy, I don't understand what he is the center point of the biggest stories in college football for the last 2 months. He's in the middle of it.
We're not the only ones doing it.
Everybody, nationally, single show today.
Yes, is all talking about this. We're not alone. But regardless, sir, if you'll just let us know how much you're willing to pay us, I will set a timer, and we will go a full hour. Heck, I'll give you the rest of the show if the money's right.
I will too. I need some money.
Yeah, I mean, those holiday bills are going to come due.
He says, name it. Hey, Dad.
Huh? $1,000.
Yeah, I'll take $1,000 too. So $2,000. $2,000 starting right now at 3:26.
We got to see the money.
Oh yeah, got to see it. You got a screenshot. You know what you can do, right?
Go ahead and Venmo it to me, Brian-Hadad, and I'll hold on to it. And if we fail, I'll send it back.
Absolutely. We're men of integrity here.
Yeah.
My Venmo is my name also. So go ahead and send it.
Send me the money. Otherwise, shut it.
Send us the money. Once the money hits our Venmo.
We're moving on.
Once our money hits our Venmo.
I'm not worried about that.
I need, what could I do with $1,000? I could get halfway to Phoenix.
Well, I could put another 1,000 on the Rebels to win the national title and really lock in. Anyway.
So, hey, Dad, we'll talk transfer portal and stuff coming up a little bit later.
Yeah.
But I did see this earlier. Kedrick Bingley-Jones hitting the transfer portal. You're not surprised by that, are you?
No, I am surprised by that because I didn't think he had any eligibility left.
Oh, it might be one of those things where he enters the portal hoping to get a waiver or something?
Where? The guy hasn't. I mean, he's had some injury issues, so I guess maybe, but I don't see. Yeah, he and Jordan Mosley both are two guys that have gotten into the portal that, I don't know where they're going to get eligibility. So it's going to be difficult. But, that being said.
So on Mississippi State's website, they listed 2024 as his redshirt junior season.
Right.
So he played his redshirt senior season this year.
He just finished his redshirt senior season. So if he thinks he can go back and get an injury, because I know he had some injury issues at North Carolina before he got to Mississippi State, but I don't know, man. Here it is. Here it is.
He was actually a true freshman in 2020, so that year doesn't count. 2021, played 11 games. 2022, played 11 games, so that's 2 years of eligibility. 2023, only played in 2 games with injury. 2024,
they might be able to find him a year.
Played in 4 games. They'll find him a year. Who?
I'll be honest with you. If he gets another year, that's wide open for Brennan Thompson then.
But Thompson played in 9 games in the year that they're talking about, right?
Yeah, but
he only played in 2.
I'm just saying, if they find another year for this guy, State's gonna be like, whoa, find another year for this guy too.
What do you think the NCAA's office is? What do you think the people that approve the waivers are thinking right now? You've got the entire country waiting on a player's waiver, and all of them, except for, I guess, LSU and State fans, want you to approve it.
You know the GIF of Obama where he's just like, that's what they're doing right now. They're just like, something comes in, they're just like, oh God, whatever. There's a lot of whatever happening. Who cares? What's the point of all this? There's a lot of is it nihilism? Is that how you pronounce it?
Nihilism, right?
Nihilism. There's a lot of that. They're reading Nietzsche. They're listening to Wagner. They're just like, what is the point of all this?
I really have no idea. What are the portal rankings as of this afternoon? We'll look. Yeah, but I mean, right now they're a little imbalanced because some teams have 20 prospects committed or whatever. We'll talk about this later too. That's the interesting part about the player retention piece. Ole Miss so far has only had 3 players hit the portal. They will have more. Backups and stuff will hit the portal. But they are returning everybody that can return. Mm-hmm. And so you don't need a massive portal class. You're not going to get the 30-person portal class, I don't think, out of Ole Miss this year. My guess would be it'll hover around 15 to 20. There's just fewer players that they need because of the retention side of it. So we'll talk about all that portal update for the College Football Fix as we're doing all week, really.
Real quick, and maybe we can bring this into the next segment. Ross Dellinger just tweeted this. Ole Miss made a third filing today to the NCAA on behalf of Trinidad Chambliss' eligibility waiver. Document drafted by Tom Mars pushes back against the NCAA's assertion of insufficient evidence and suggests legal action in a Mississippi Circuit court.
There it is. So, okay, that what Ole Miss is saying here is,
fight here.
Okay, you want to deny it. There's a judge in Mississippi that probably doesn't like you very much.
Yeah.
And probably really likes Trinidad Chambliss right now. And look, judges, I understand that they operate with integrity, but I have a feeling a Mississippi Circuit Court judge is going to be pretty unfavorable to the NCAA's cause. That's just me. Interesting. So they're loading up. On that note, by the way, Ole Miss entertaining a couple of portal quarterbacks.
Yeah.
We'll talk about all that and more. Coming up, though, I had a conversation with our buddy Lee Sterling. He's from Miami. He's a Miami guy. Some keys to the game. We'll get those from him when we come back as well.
From the sea.
Can you feel it? Can you hear it?
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Yeah!
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Brian Hadad, Michael Borkey, here with you on a Wednesday afternoon. Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you in part by AgriGold. AgriGold believes progress in the field starts with the seed and the people who plant it. That's why AgriGold focuses 100% on seed, delivering trusted genetics and solutions to help you get more out of every acre. Contact Kerry Baker at 662-836-7417. He's your local AgriGold representative to learn more. Or visit agrigold.com to explore seed solutions and agronomy resources. Plant your legacy today with AgriGold.
One little note that Dellinger put out there, by the way, about this Trinidad legal fight, Tom Mars waiver, is apparently Lane Kiffin was the one that invited Mars to come on last month. If that doesn't tell you that he expected Trinidad to go with him to LSU, nothing does. We got this game tomorrow. Caught up with Lee. You can hear the entire conversation on the Rebel Report podcast feed, but I clipped a couple of things where he's talking about players that he thinks Miami might try to exploit, stuff like that. I didn't know this about Lee, by the way. His dad was Miami's athletic department's dentist for over 2 decades. I had no idea. Learned something new today.
Didn't know that, yeah.
But here's some thoughts on how Miami is going to try to attack Ole Miss's defense.
I think here are the matchups as far as Miami attacking the Ole Miss defense here. I think Miami is going to throw the ball a lot more than they did in the last couple games. First game because they had to run because of the wind. And I just think that they wanted to keep close, and they think that they thought they could run the ball in Ohio State. Carson Beck releases the ball really quick, an average of 2.35 seconds. And he's the quickest of all four quarterbacks. I think that Chambliss is the second, right around 2.5. I think they're going to do a bunch of wide receiver screens in the game. I think that the guy they want to stay away from is Wydett Williams. Great anticipation. I think the two guys that they will target is Capena Gushigan and also Jalen Braxton, who once in a while will hold some defenders, receivers. All cornerbacks do at time, and Miami's cornerbacks do also. I think those are the guys that they're going to target here. I think Ole Miss is going to rush 3 and drop 8 a lot of times, and then they will also, I expect them to blitz and stunt in third and long situations here with their defensive linemen. Ole Miss's defense, they like to plug a linebacker on first down to stop the run. So if you see Miami going play action on first down over the middle, probably from reading and watching tape, that might be the way they go. The linebacker I think that they will target in the run game is TJ Daugherty. Better in pass protection. I think he's the guy they're going to try to run at. So I think that this Miami's offense, if you look at what they produced as far as points against A&M, 10, and also just 24 against Ohio State. 14 of it was 17 was on offense. 7 was the pick 6. I think that they're going to be much more wide open here in this game because I think that they feel that Ole Miss is probably going to score on them more than the other two offenses here, and I think that's their best point of attack. So I think it's going to be fun. I'm trying to, give your listeners and your followers who are watching us some of the ways that I think through watching the last 3 games in Miami and Ole Miss and how they're going to attack them. So it's going to be an interesting chess game. And, does Miami throw on first down some play action up the middle? If they do, I think they'll have some success. If they just try to pound the ball, I think it's going to be tough unless they can, like I said, really target TJ Daugherty. And then in the pass game, they're going to try to target Gushkin and also Braxton. Those are the weakest links here. And I don't know if the defense I would say of the 4 units, Miami's offense and defense, Ole Miss's offense and defense, I would say that the Ole Miss defense might be the weakest link. So Miami realizes they need to score. Anything that you see and want to add?
Yeah, 2 months ago, Ole Miss, especially against the run, they had coverage busts in the back end, and they were not physical enough against the run, and that has steadily improved. They've gotten after the quarterback better, but run defense in particular in the Georgia game, William Eccles and Xavier Harris were dominant in the second half against Georgia. I think it was 8 carries for 13 yards Georgia had. And on the show yesterday, I said that the best players for Ole Miss in this game have to be those two again, because I do think Miami is going to try to run right at them and kind of test their manhood. Georgia did it in the first half. They had a long touchdown drive where it was just like 8-yard run, 10-yard run, 8-yard run, right down Ole Miss's throat. And then Ole Miss adjusted and physically matched Georgia for the rest of the game and stopped the run game, and that's when you saw them able to get stops and things like that. Those two guys are so important for Ole Miss in this game. The interior.
Something I noticed also was interesting. Just shows you how games play. I think that the rematch, I think Miami getting up for playing Ohio State, trying to get redemption for 23 years, and that the way that game, that national championship ended, and also Ole Miss trying to get, revenge for losing earlier in the year. What was interesting watching the game earlier in the season, I thought that Ole Miss's play calling in the first part, in the whole third quarter, I thought they were very conservative. I thought that they stopped attacking in that first game. And it actually turned around, and Georgia and Mike Bobo, the first 3 possessions of the third quarter, I thought his play calling was terrible. So it was interesting how that absolutely flipped. And it was interesting to watch those dynamics. So I think that a combination of Ole Miss's great play by the defense in the second half, obviously Chambliss's great play, and then also Mike Bobo just absolutely they used to gripe about him all the time, Georgia fans. Then I think the last 4 or 5 games, I think they liked the way he was calling games, and then he reverted to form again.
So that's a little bit of that conversation. We will visit with Greg McElroy, by the way, coming up here at the top of the 4 o'clock hour on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. If I can put us back on the screen. There we go, Hadad. I see your face now. I know the audience missed you for the couple of seconds there that I was messing up the
I'm sure they did, yeah.
The video. But, I mean, it's a big-time matchup. If you look at Ole Miss's raw rush defense stats, it doesn't tell the correct story about what the team is at the present. Because 2 months ago, they were literally, statistically, the worst rush defense in the SEC. 2 months ago. That's what they were. Mm-hmm. Andrew Jones, starting at linebacker, has changed that. And then you've got some light bulbs that have come on. With Eccles, for example. His light bulb came on this season. Cam Franklin's light bulb came on this season. Those kind of things have really helped them be much better against the run than the numbers say that they are, because the last few weeks they have elevated themselves pretty dramatically in that area of the team. But that's how you make runs like this. I mean, Miami's secondary is the weakest part about their team. Ask Julian Sayin if Miami has a bad secondary or not. Because the one that he played against, there's nothing bad about them.
That's a good secondary. I mean, defensively, Miami's just good, top to bottom, all 3 stages of the field, however you want to put it. And they have some elite talent. It's not that they're just like a good defense that plays over their head or they're just well coached. There's some elite talent on there, So it's going to be a very tough task. The good news for Ole Miss is they just played a defense with elite talent. They played that defense twice this year and put 30-plus on the board both times. They put 30-plus on the board on that Oklahoma defense, which I would say is one of the best defenses in the country. So, yeah, I mean, I think defense is going to be what is the difference in this game. I think it's going to be a lower-scoring game coming into it. But Ole Miss has put up big points on good defenses before.
Yeah. And get to Carson Beck. You got to get to Carson Beck, because if you do, he will give you the ball. He will do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been the Achilles heel of his entire football career.
We saw it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it. You were at a wedding.
No, we watched it on phones.
I saw it I had a big TV.
How are you going to watch tomorrow?
On the same TV that I watched that game on. Through my hands like this. Something like that. I don't know.
This might be the first time in your life you don't want to go on an expenses-paid trip to Miami.
Yeah, you're correct.
The only time. The only time that you would ever object
to
that.
Well, I mean, there might be other situations. You should never say never.
We need to start going to the draft. That's what we need to start doing.
I'm down for that.
We need to start going to the draft. Sports Talk Mississippi. Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. We'll be right back.
Believe what I'm hearing.
This is Sports Talk Mississippi, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Borkey and Hadad, Sports Talk Mississippi. We got the question on the text line. It's on me. I should have said this earlier. Our plan tomorrow, we will be live tomorrow from 1 to 4:30. 1 to 4:30 tomorrow, we will be live. We just simply have to do that because the game broadcast starts so early. They start like 2.5 hours before the game kicks off or something like that.
Talk about it.
So because of that, we are going to go from 1 to 4:30 tomorrow. Will we be anywhere special? No, we will be in our studio.
This is special to me.
Well, it's a very special, special place. But yes, 1 to 4:30 tomorrow. Our Fiesta Bowl coverage is brought to you by Good Hope Land and Timber, Yingling Flight. Get yourself some Yingling Flight this year. U.S. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith, Pelium Corporation, Barnes Crossing Auto Group, and the Mississippi Hospital Association. All of them bringing our coverage of the Fiesta Bowl to you. And very thankful for them. But yes, 1 to 4:30 tomorrow. There was this news earlier today. Chase Parham broke this news. Ole Miss backup offensive lineman P.J. Wilkins entered the transfer portal the other day.
Right.
And that's fine. Players can enter the portal and still participate. Oregon has a bunch of guys in the portal. Some of them are actually leaving the team, not all of them. But for the sake of this discussion, this is the only Ole Miss player that has entered the portal that apparently has chosen to leave the team. He just posted on social media that he's committed to Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. So good for him. He is the interior lineman that would play if one of the three got hurt. So he's the next guy. So has like his role is valuable. But he not a starter, but still he has a valuable role. And according to Chase, he has chosen to leave the team. And so Terez Davis, a similar guy, will fill that role if anybody gets hurt. Whoever's advising that young man is doing a very bad job of advising him. You can enter the portal and you can commit to Wisconsin and you don't have to leave your team that is 2 wins away from a national championship. That is very bad advice that has been given to him.
I didn't understand, like, even with State playing kind of a meaningless game, but you had some guys who don't have a lot of film. Like, why would you not play and get the practice and try to, maybe you get in the game and somebody sees you?
I mean, imagine if somebody gets hurt and he plays and suddenly, even if you want to go to Wisconsin, they're like, oh, got to pay more, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's unfortunate. Even if he's making the decision on his own, somebody in his life needs to say, hey, young man, no. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You're in the semifinal. Wisconsin will take your commitment even if you stay playing for Ole Miss. Spring practice is not for a few months, man. Yeah, they'll be fine.
I don't get that. I don't get it. Yeah. Maybe the same guy that advised the coach leave in the middle of a playoff. Is this guy's agent the same as Kiffin's? Think it's the same agent? Yeah, just get out of there. You don't want to be there.
So Dan's asking about a station airing the game. The stations that air Ole Miss games will air the game. Yeah. The stations that don't will not. There's no change there.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. So 601-879-4395. I can't watch games like this with a lot of people, by the way. What about you? Are you like a big watch party guy? I'll do World Cup games in a public space because that's different. That's more of like, Americana patriotism, just yelling USA and throwing beers in the air. But a game like this, I couldn't watch with people.
I'm trying to think the last time State had a big road game. It's been a little while. I can watch with some people. I can.
Gotta be the right people, though.
It's got to be the right people. I wouldn't want to go to like a public place. I'll go to somebody's house, my friends, but I wouldn't want to go to like B-Dubs or a
Can't
sports
be like
bar.
a guy that you don't know and his wife yelling, hit him, get him down.
I can't trust that. Mm-hmm. I can't trust that.
Anytime somebody yells, hit him, when a guy is running free, I want to just run my head into a wall. It's like, they're trying to tackle him.
You're not helping them. At that point. Like, I don't mind yelling at the TV and yelling at the players, do this, do that, but hit him is a bit... Like, when he's in the open field, it's more about catch him at that point. It's less hit and more catch.
Man, no kidding.
Yeah.
Greg McElroy joining us here in just a little bit. We got portal retention stuff to talk about as well. And two former Mississippi State players are going to be battling for the same position at a different school. An interesting twist on that story we'll tell you about coming up here in a little while. Ole Miss has hired a defensive coordinator. And you might be thinking, wait, I thought they had two, basically, already. Yeah, that's a good question. We'll give
they
details.
got three. You can't ever have too many.
No, they got three. We'll talk about all that and more to start the next hour. Sports Talk Mississippi. Greg McElroy after the news.
What the heck are you doing?
Sports Talk Mississippi on your radio and in the game. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Hour 2, Sports Talk Mississippi. We go to the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. Greg McElroy was on the call for the Sugar Bowl. You know him. Former Alabama quarterback, analyst of all things SEC football, and he's on your radio right now. And Greg, let's start here. Just kind of a softball question for you. Are you surprised that we are sitting here on January 7th talking about Ole Miss in the semifinal?
It's a great question. No, not really. I think, to those, we called, 3 Ole Miss games this year? It was a lot, and we did 4 last year. After last season, I didn't think the roster would be as talented, but I thought there was a chance that the roster could be slightly more cohesive, and I felt like if things were brought along accordingly, I've never thought the offense would skip a beat. I thought the offense would be fine. I just thought it'd be Austin Simmons. A little different now. I thought there'd be a few growing pains defensive. I didn't think they'd be as disruptive up front, but they've ended up being pretty good there. Then I thought there was no way they could be as good in the back end, so they'd have to win some shootouts. I thought they'd win a lot of games that looked a little bit like the Arkansas game. I thought that would be every week. But the progress that the defense has made, the way guys have stepped up, and the challenge that you have in game planning against them is a real one, man. Like, they're a beast to play against. And this group does not have guys that do their own thing. Like, they play together. They play cohesive. And I think there's a lot to be said about how this roster was put together.
Defensively, there was that drive in the first half. I know you guys talked about it during the game where Georgia just lined up and tested the manhood of the Ole Miss defense, and the Ole Miss defense failed. Ran right down their throat. What did Ole Miss do differently after that to stop the run?
You know what's funny in that drive? They ran their 13 personnel, 3 tight ends, 1 running back, where it's like when Georgia gets in that, you can just do whatever you have to do to get in the way. It's a beast. It's not something that's easily stoppable. Very few teams can. But the one thing that I felt like Ole Miss did a great job of in the second half is their defensive tackles came alive. They played really well in the second half of that football game. I also thought they tackled better. And if you really look at the first half, with the exception of the drive that you just referenced, think about how many times Ole Miss had them dead to rights, and they abandoned coverage responsibility because they were scared of Gunnar Stockton taking off and running, and he hit a guy downfield. Or they had Zachariah Branch dead to rights behind the line of scrimmage, miss a tackle, and he's out the gate on the third down conversion. They were actually in position in the first half. They just didn't make the play. So I felt like things would calm down a little bit for them in the second half as long as they could weather the storm, because the toughest thing that you have to deal with when playing against Georgia is your snap exposure. And we kind of documented that throughout the game. The 2 defensive tackles, it was Franklin and Eccles had to play 70 snaps in the first Georgia game. It was Harris and somebody. It was Franklin and Perkins played 70+. Eccles and Harris played 63+. And then Daugherty played 84 in the first Georgia game. So, like, that's where Georgia gets you. Like, they just force you to have to defend a lot of snaps, and eventually you're exhausted by the fourth quarter. But it didn't matter. Like, they might have been tired, and they certainly looked it. Harris got helped up the field 4 times, it felt like, in the game. But it didn't matter because Trinidad was naming the score and calling a shot, and it became a track meet. You're always going to side with the Rebels in a game like that.
So that sort of leads into my question, Greg, where, you know, the game kind of changed in that drive where Trinidad's making a lot of plays with his feet. He's scrambling and finding guys down the field. Is he going to be able to do that against what is a really, really good Miami front four and defense?
I mean, he's going to have to. I mean, he doesn't have much of a choice. For as much progress as I feel like Ole Miss has made this year along the offensive line, I do think they're better. Like, I do think they've improved drastically from last year. No one's blocking those guys, dude. I'm just telling y'all. Like, I've seen them. Like, remember when Jeffrey Simmons was, like, literally on – I mean, you could not block him. It didn't matter what you did. You could double him. You could help. Like, it didn't matter. There's just nothing you could do, and it was a very helpless feeling. Well, they have two guys like that. It's just they can't block them. So unless they're changing the launch point, rolling them out, cutting them, like, I think you got to cut them, honestly. Like, I just don't know how you block them. And you can, and I've proposed it this morning on Get Up. I've proposed it all week. I've done it on my podcast. I've done it on the radio show. It's like, you can chip all you want, but now you run the risk of, like, Kewan Lacey, who already has a hurt shoulder, chipping Ruben Bain on the way out? No. No, we're not doing that. He's too important. So do you use Diggs for that? Do you use Daquan Wright, who also has, I don't know, 1, maybe 2 hurt shoulders right now? Like, I don't know what you do, so I don't think you can block them. You have to scheme them. And you got to get them thinking. You got to get them running sideline to sideline. Do jet sweeps where they're unblocked. Use it with great timing. Use Deuce Alexander. I think it's a big Deuce Alexander game. I think you have to naked them where you fake play side, boot out left side, but make sure Trinidad gets depth. Like, there's things you can do to make them think and slow them down. But as far as, like, just lining up and blocking them, it's just not going to happen. Not for 60-plus snaps in the game.
And then the other side of that, when Miami has the football, they've been able to run so successfully. Georgia had some success running the football, but until Frazier went out of the game. Is Miami going to be able to duplicate that success, or are they going to have to put this into Carson Beck's hands?
They're a little bit of a different animal running it than Georgia. They're not nearly as fast. Like, were y'all there at the game by chance?
Yes.
Borkey was, yeah.
Yeah, so you know when you see Frazier hit the hole, it's like, goodness gracious, he's like a dynamo. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. With Mark Fletcher, he's just not like that. He's not built like that. He's kind of a lumberer, and he's a beast. He averages 5 yards after contact per carry. I mean, he's a handful. I mean, he runs like a horse. Like, he is really strong, but he's not nearly as quick twitch as what you're going to get from Frazier. So I think if you can make him cut in the backfield, you got a chance. So it's huge on the D tackles to make him cut in the backfield and to kind of force his first move to happen before he accelerates, because if he hits the hole, it's over. Right? Because you're not getting that guy to the ground. He's just too strong. But if you can force him to cut before he gets to full speed, you got a fighting chance. So I think they can. This is a different level offensive line, guys. Like, I'm just telling y'all, like, Maui Noah is a monster, but I think he is obviously the best player. I think he's the best player in their offense, including Malachi Toney, Beck, Fletcher, all these guys. Like, Maui Noah is the best talent. But I also think they have 4 other guys along that offensive line that are really, really good too. And on any other team, they would be getting a lot of love and praise. They just are a little overshadowed by how good the guy is at right tackle. So it's going to be a very tough matchup for the D-line. Like, it's a huge Cam Franklin game. He can't get moved. It's a huge Will Eccles game. He's got to be disruptive. It's a huge, huge Harris game, because when he gets his pads low, he's great. When he gets his pads high, he becomes very human. And you can't let your guy that's 6'8", 330 be human in the game like this. So those guys are going to have to play huge in this game. And I think, you know, Daugherty and company and Chambers and all these guys, like, they're going to have to be really good at the second level tackling, because it's going to be a very tough tackling game. It's going to be a super physical game, and they're going to have to be up to the task.
Got just a couple of minutes left here. I'll give you two statements. One, Ole Miss wins the game. You tell me the prevailing reason why. And then the other, Ole Miss loses the game. What is the prevailing reason why?
I think it's honestly, it's one of those games where it shouldn't sound too strange. Like if you're looking at it from a gambling perspective, and I don't break games down based on like what the Vegas spread is. Like Vegas is all about public sentiment. But if you are looking at the total in this game, and I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you. I know you guys probably do, but I genuinely don't. Whatever the total is, if you look at that and you think to yourself, ooh, man, that looks high, I think it'll be an under type of game, then you probably like Miami. If you look at the total, you're like, man, that feels low, you probably like Ole Miss. I think this game is about as fun of a game from a contrast of styles as you'll find. We've called 2 Miami games. We've called 3 Ole Miss games. Like, Ole Miss wants to ramp up the tempo. They want to play it like basketball on grass, make you cover every inch of the field, utilize speed and athleticism, win some matchups, have a super talented quarterback that's just skyrocketing up draft boards. Like, there's so much to love about how Ole Miss wants to change and dictate terms of engagement, whereas Miami wants it to be a game that is comparable to a rugby-style scrum, where if Mario had his way, football would be played with no wide receivers and quarterbacks. It would purely be like O-line tug-of-war. That would be essentially how it goes. So I think that's really the biggest key of the game, is who dictates the terms. Like, who is it more of a fast-paced game? And you'll know this early. Or is it more of a grinded-out, slow-paced game? And I think you'll know probably within the first 2 drives. Like if Miami can comfortably move the line of scrimmage and win along the line of scrimmage, and Fletcher's falling forward for 4, 5, 6 yards a carry, it's going to be tough sledding. If they're stopping Fletcher at or around the line of scrimmage, he's averaging 2.8 yards a carry, and all of a sudden it gets reverted back to Carson Beck, you got to like where you're at on defense. And then on the other side, if the offensive line is holding up long enough for Chambliss to kind of pick them apart on the outside, you're going to feel pretty good about it. But if Bain and company are in the backfield in a moment's notice, it's going to be tough sledding. So I think it's ultimately about, can Ole Miss hold up in protection? Can Ole Miss create some explosives, which they do a great job of? I mean, against Georgia.
From the Venable Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Covington County Hospital in Collins, where your health matters.
Let's go to the junction, in the grove, and to the top. Don't hurt yourself. Sports Talk Mississippi on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back. The heartbreak cut off McElroy there, but it was a really, really good interview with him. We appreciate it. It did. Before we got this a text on the text line that we'll talk about, but first, hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Let the people know what's coming up.
What is coming up on Sports Talk Mississippi? Let me look here. So every day, Borkey sends out an email that has it has everything that's going to. Oh, he didn't send one.
No, I forgot to send it.
So Borkey, why don't you tell me?
It's still sitting on my computer. Document opened. The document's open.
If you don't mind me saying, you idiot.
The document's open. I never sent it.
You imbecile.
Well, I know what's on it. So we've got portal update coming for your college football fix. Got to get to that. Got player retention update happening as well. Ross Dellinger added a new anecdote to the Trinidad waiver story that is interesting as all get out. You have a Mississippi State departure, but the good kind of departure ultimately. We will talk about all that and more with you over the next hour and a half on Sports Talk.
What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Ag Up. Start the new year with a compact tractor that's a proven performer and get a great deal. You can get that all at Ag Up Equipment. Right now you get 0% financing for 48 months on select John Deere 1 through 4 series compact tractors. You can't beat these workhorses or the 0% financing. Stop by your local Ag Up or visit them at agup.com. Your down-home dealer. Offerings 131.26. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
On the text line, I know Miami is good. They didn't play an SEC schedule and barely made the playoff. They barely beat A&M, and all of a sudden they're the most physical team in the world. They're very beatable. They're not a darn bit more physical than Georgia. Anyone has been laughing at the ACC all year, And now this is supposedly the best team ever. If Ole Miss play good, they win by 10. Well, here's the thing about that, though. There's a few holes that you can punch into this. Number one, have you seen the SEC play this postseason? I don't know if playing an SEC schedule is really something to brag about. I hear your point, though. But it's not like the SEC's just lit the world on fire this postseason to justify that. Number two, they barely beat A&M. They went on the road to College Station, an 11-win SEC team, and held them to 3 points. You're not impressed by that?
That was a really good win.
And then they lined up with and were more physical than Ohio State.
The reigning national champions, yeah.
Yes, they are beatable. You can say a lot of these things about Ole Miss. Look, I mean, Ole Miss has 13 wins. You've got this elite quarterback, this elite running back. You've got star power all over the field and explosive. You can say all these things about Ole Miss, too. You don't get to the point that these two teams are not at by not being one of the best teams, if not the best team in the country.
Right.
There's a very real chance that the national champion plays tomorrow night. Miami's exceptionally good. So was Ole Miss. But, yeah, they're getting a lot of praise because they have earned every bit of that praise, and so has Ole Miss.
Everybody's underestimating everybody.
Everybody's underestimating everybody.
We talked about it yesterday. It was that somebody from Miami said, I don't think I know how good they are. Now we've got fans on the text line saying, I don't really know how good Miami is. These are the last 4 teams standing. I don't think there's any flukes at this point. There's no fluke at this point. All 4 of these teams have earned exactly where they are.
Right. And so, yeah, they're going to get a ton of praise. You don't out-physical Texas A&M on the road in Ohio State without being one of, if not the most physical team in the country. Yes, they played an ACC schedule. Yes, they lost 2 bad games a while ago. That was a while ago. The Ole Miss defense that played Georgia and Athens in October, it's not the same defense that's walking out on that field tomorrow. That was a while ago. But yes, if Ole Miss has a chance, more than a chance to win tomorrow.
Yeah, great chance. Great chance to win. Great chance to go and get this taken care of. But there's a reason the line's 3.5, right, or 3 or whatever it is. It's a close line. Why? These teams are relatively evenly matched. You could probably say that I think Ole Miss is the better offensive team. I think Miami is the better defensive team. So it's probably going to come down to the other side of the ball, right? It's going to be Miami. The matchup to watch is probably Miami's offense versus Ole Miss's defense. The Rebels can get stops. They should win. If they can't, it's going to be a problem.
Story from ESPN. The lead is Trinidad Chambliss acknowledged being, quote, a little frustrated, end quote, as he awaits an NCAA decision on the potential waiver for the 2026 season, while his lawyer, Tom Mars, told ESPN that they're working on immediate contingency plans in the event that it's denied. This is the interesting part, though. I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but they've added some context. From Pete Thamel, update. Ole Miss filed another letter to the NCAA from attorney Tom Mars that references a conversation that Mars tells ESPN was taped by Ole Miss officials. This would loom large in any potential legal proceeding if Chambliss's redshirt waiver is rejected. Mars says in the letter, on December 8th, 2025, the NCAA case manager told the senior associate AD for compliance at Ole Miss that the NCAA staff considered the physician's statement to be sufficient proof of Trinidad's incapacity to compete during the 2022 season, but that the staff was concerned about the lack of, quote, contemporaneous legal stuff. I'm not very smart. Medical documentation. There exists evidence of exactly what was said during this phone call. That seems odd to say the least. Tom Mars is claiming, and he wouldn't lie about this, that Ole Miss has on tape the NCAA saying, yes, you have presented sufficient evidence. Game over if it goes to court. Game over. If it goes to court, a judge will hear that and say, game over. He will play next year. I'd bet my car on it right now. Not that anybody wants it.
That's not a real bet.
It's really not a real bet.
Nobody wants that car. Yeah, it feels like Well, even before I knew that, I felt like it was trending towards this, but I don't know. It's going to be the NCAA is really made up of idiots. I mean, it really is.
Mars has them on a recorded call saying, yes, actually, you do have sufficient evidence, sir.
Well, what they really meant was it was sufficient at that time. But now it's not sufficient anymore. Did you think I said sufficient? I said proficient.
Oh.
It was proficient evidence.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
Speaking of quarterbacks, for some reason, you're going to have a former Bulldog quarterback competition at South Florida. Both Luke Kromenhoek and former President Michael Van Buren, are both transferring to South Florida.
What a weird coincidence, right? Like, there's no way Brian Hartline was like, you know what would be funny? I don't think he did that. I wonder who wins that. I'll be fascinated to see who wins it. I don't, because I don't really know. You know, Hartline wasn't the offensive coordinator. You know, he was, but Ryan Day was calling plays at Ohio State, and basically their offensive philosophy has been, hey, let's let our 5-star quarterback throw the ball up to these unbelievably elite wide receivers for the last decade, and we'll run the ball when we need to. Now that he has his own offense to call, I don't know what it's going to look like. I think both guys are decent runners. I wouldn't categorize them either as elite runners. I don't know much about Kromenhoek the passer. Didn't see a whole lot of it. I've seen more of Van Buren the passer, and he's average at best on that. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. But it's a really funny coincidence that you got two former Bulldog backup quarterbacks. I mean, if Kromenhoek loses that job, it becomes, why didn't I stay at Mississippi State? I probably could have made a little bit more money, had some familiarity with it. But it is what it is on that one. So
interesting, really.
It's just weird. It's just a weird coincidence.
It's a very weird coincidence.
Yeah.
Sticking with State, we're up against a break. We'll save this actually, but we will tell you that Brennan Thompson has decided to declare for the. Oh, actually, you know what? Hey, that audible again. We've got time. Brennan Thompson releases a statement declaring for the NFL draft.
Just what are you doing over there? Yes.
Doing two jobs at one time sometimes leads to odd decisions, all right?
I guess. Thompson has declared the SEC's leading receiver. He finished the year as the number one in receiving yards in the conference. So great job by him. Seems likely to snap State's now 30-year streak. This will be the 2026 draft will be 30 years since the last time a Mississippi State wide receiver was drafted. Not in the first round, just drafted. Eric Moulds was the last one. I feel like Thompson, he's not a first rounder by any stretch. I will be fascinated to watch him at the combine. I want to see what that 40 time is. Gonna set an over under right now of 4.27, and we'll see how that goes. But I think he'll be a late round pick for somebody. The speed is just too much to ignore.
Yeah. So I mean, if I guess he changed his name. Is it Deontay Hardy now from Assumption College that played for the Saints? Like that, yeah. If at his size, in his speed, somebody will find a spot for him on an NFL team next year. You can't ignore what he's capable of. Sports Talk Mississippi from the Pearl River Resort Studio. We'll be back.
From sports. This is Sports Talk Mississippi.
Sounds good.
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. As you can imagine, ESPN pulling no punches when it comes to the broadcast of the game tomorrow and Friday. Additional cameras for this broadcast. 8 end zone pylon cams. So not just the ones at the goal line. Every pylon in the end zone, all 8 of them, are going to have a camera attached to them. There will be a line to gain camera as well. So if you need a yard for a first down, you'll get a down the first down line camera, which should be for every SEC game.
Well,
that's not expensive technology relative to what they bring in. Why are we still relying on middle-aged men and their eyes in a fast game to determine whether or not a guy got a first down when you've got the technology to put a camera there to help him out? I don't know. But you're getting that tomorrow. Goalpost cam, camera situated on the goalpost that you can get the view from there. Goal line robotic cams, apparently. I don't know what's robotic about them, but goal line robotic cams. That's all. That's the only detail they give you. And then something called, hey, Dad, you know what this is, so I would like for you to tell the audience. Shallow depth of field wireless Ronin, a Sony FX6 on Ronin gimbal for on-field celebrations following touchdowns. So what is that? Tell the people.
It's like one of those, those you blow into it and it makes the noise. You get them at kids' parties. Isn't that what it is? It's for on-field celebrations.
On ESPNU, they will have the Skycast. On ESPN News, the Command Center, which I don't like watching the Command Center. I've tried. There's too much going on.
I just want to say something real quick. Somebody just texted us here on the C Spire text line. I understand if y'all don't want to talk about this, but Stephen A. Smith's comments about Oxford were ridiculous. Sir, you've made a grave error. You have assumed that I would have listened to something Stephen A. Smith has said. I have not. I will tell you that I have not, nor have I ever. Have I ever sought out Stephen A. Smith's opinion on literally anything? That was your first mistake, sir or ma'am.
I saw it because people clipped it because he said something that's completely and totally ignorant again. The problem with him saying what he says about all leagues is that they partner with these leagues and he says what he does. But in this case in particular, to make the statements that he made as the highest paid and most visible employee of the SEC's only television partner is a big problem. Because, hey, Dad, it's not an Ole Miss thing. It's a Mississippi thing. So you've got two member institutions that he made a pathetic blanket statement about, because that's what he does, rooted in ignorance, because that's what it is, about a state that two of your member institutions are in, and he is the most promoted figure on your only television partner, and that is unacceptable. What can the league do about it? I don't know. Everybody at ESPN has to apologize all the time these days, so maybe start there, but that is a situation where the league needs to step in and say, hey, ESPN, you've seen the ratings of our games, and frankly, I gave you a television deal that is cheap compared to what you're getting out of us. That needs to stop. That's what the league office should do. Anyway, you can't ignore that. You need to step in and say, if you're going to talk about our league, that can't happen anymore. That can't happen anymore.
All right, then.
But,
again, I'd like to point out, wasn't aware of any of this until that text. So I feel like I've done a good job. Because I don't delve into the muck of ESPN's embrace debate programming. My television on ESPN, it means there's a game on.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
So they'll have the Command Center on ESPN News. I don't like that. If you want to check it out, like you've got a view from the production area. They'll have live stats and different camera angles and stuff on the screen. You need a big screen to watch the Command Center. If you're watching on a smaller TV like mine, it's not worth it. Hometown radio with Ole Miss on the SEC Network. So if you want to watch the game, but hear David Kellum, who's expected to join us tomorrow, you can do that on the SEC Network. If for whatever reason you want to watch an ACC angle, you can on the ACC Network. Jimbo Fisher going to be part of that broadcast from the sidelines. So you can hear Jimbo talk a million miles per hour about the game going on the ACC Network. All 22, that'll be on something called ESPN Unlimited. What is that?
No idea.
What is ESPN Unlimited? Is that Russell Wilson's vertical?
ESPN Unlimited is their comprehensive streaming services.
Oh, they changed the name?
Yeah. I guess it's what used to be ESPN Plus.
You can also listen if you want to, for whatever it's worth. Ian Fitzsimmons will be on the radio broadcast, so if you're in the car, not in Mississippi, because if you're in Mississippi, you should be listening to David Kelm on SuperTalk Mississippi. But for those of you that listen on the app out of state and you're in the car, our good buddy Ian Fitzsimmons will be on the call there. So there you go. Also, you can watch in Spanish on ESPN Deportes. I have not seen a single highlight in Spanish of the Sugar Bowl. And I'll be honest, Ole Miss media people, the video department, you guys do an unbelievable job. World-class stuff. Yeah. Why didn't you guys go find the Spanish call of some of those plays and put that in your highlight package? What's wrong with you guys? What's wrong with you guys? If you win tomorrow, you better have some Spanish highlights. They're awesome.
El Kiwan Lacey.
Vamos Kiwan Lacey.
Vamos Kiwan Lacey, exactly. There you go.
Remember what was it, the Serbian broadcast?
The 2019 Egg Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, it's unbelievable. They're laughing. They're just dying.
When they start singing Eye of the Tiger.
Oh, that was something different. Yeah, that was the tennis thing. Rising up.
Yeah.
Out on the streets. Yeah, that was one of those that's one of the few times where you said you will never guess where this is going to go, and you were right. You were completely correct on that. I like to picture that being Luka Doncic, just sitting there behind the mic, calling a tennis thing and just singing Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, Spanish broadcasts are just awesome.
They're great.
What are we waiting on here?
They're great.
We got to get some of those.
So McElroy's in Atlanta. That means Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit have this one?
Fowler and Herbie are on this one.
Okay.
Why
would you switch McElroy and Sean? They just called Ole Miss. They've got the familiarity.
I don't know. And, I mean, Kirk Herbstreit's performance on College Game Day.
He won.
He won with a J. Why is that so funny?
I don't know, but it really is. Kudos to the C Spire text line. You got me. You got me on that one.
Oh, man.
That's good stuff.
I just see Kiwan doing a little, like, maraca dance in the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Whew, the turnover chain that they're wearing now since they got rid of the basketball goal is just a turnover sombrero.
Oh, now you've gone too far. You're going to get us canceled.
No, I'm not.
What is Ole Miss doing for the turnover thing now?
They have like a big necklace, right?
It's a chain?
Isn't that what they're doing?
I don't know. Did they get a turnover?
Well, they remember they would do the basketball goal after big touchdowns too.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not familiar with the Ole Miss turnover prop. That's my bad.
I did get a text from a friend before the Sugar Bowl, and he said, it's so nice sitting here in the stadium and not watching two equipment guys wheel a basketball goal onto the sidelines.
Yeah, but.
That's nice to see.
Yeah, but. Y'all loved it when it was happening.
Don't say y'all. I didn't like the basketball goal.
They all loved it.
I didn't like
loved it. You loved it.
No, because I kept saying, somebody's going to tear an ACL on that thing.
Well, you haven't been saying that, but we're not having this revisionist history from the majority of the Ole Miss fans.
Never. I was always, especially when Xavier Harris broke the basketball goal, that was time.
No.
When he tried to two-hand, feet in the air, Shaquille O'Neal slam some like Walmart $80 basketball goal, and it broke on him. That should have ended things.
Well.
Yeah.
Well. Still laughing about Kiwan Lacey. Jeez Louise, man.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be right back.
And wax out of your ears. Did you hear me?
This is Sports Talk. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Woo! I say, sports fans.
Now, here's more on Super Talk Mississippi.
I actually like this idea. James Repetto on turnovers. The player should sign a turnover T-shirt, and somebody should fire it into the crowd with a T-shirt cannon. Now you're talking.
That's actually an outstanding idea. Like, have the shirt ready, sign it. And the shirt says, I don't know what it says. You know, we got the ball or something. I don't know. Fire it off. That's not a bad idea.
That's such a cool idea, actually.
That's just really good, James. Really good.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Now you are talking. 601-879-4395, the C Spire text line. So glad that you guys are with us. We'll be live tomorrow at 1 to 4:30 tomorrow will be our showtime because of the game broadcast. Game supposed to kick off at 6:30. I'd bet it's more like 6:50, but you know how it goes. Alabama, now possibly anyway, in the quarterback market, although I think they have the heir apparent ready. Ty Simpson going ahead and entering the NFL draft. He showed flashes at times this year of, oh, wow, that's a first-round pick. Mm-hmm. And then also, I don't know if that guy's even good enough to start in the SEC next year.
It's a lot of ups and downs. There's no getting around that. Probably a mid-second, third-rounder, something like that. Because the ceiling is high. When he played well, he was really, really good. And so an NFL coach is going to see that and go, well, I can get him to play well like that every game. When we'll just have to see. So wonder if Alabama wants to get into the transfer market now, or do they want to just hand it over to Keelan Russell and say, or Austin Mack and see where they go from there. DeBoer, Mack is the guy who transferred from Washington to come with him to Alabama. Yeah. Keelan Russell was his first recruit. May just want to go with a young quarterback, surround him with talent, and see what happens. So, speaking of quarterback, well, I guess we'll talk about it in the next segment. Never mind.
You want to talk about Lagway?
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Is that a sign for Ole Miss they're getting a little antsy?
Well, you got to operate as if you're not going to, and especially because it doesn't sound like Lagway's got a lot of options. Ole Miss possibly going to get a visit from Florida quarterback DJ Lagway. I don't think his options are that good right now. Mm-hmm. He visited Virginia. Florida State, I think, is going to go in another direction. So there's a lot of where's he going to end up? And also, Dylan Raiola. Have you seen anything at all about the former five-star?
No, he is coming off an injury.
But nothing at all.
You would think he would, like Oregon State would send out a feeler or something. But that could be the situation, right? Where Raiola is like, I'm too good for a group of six. I'm too good for some of the lower levels. He's probably gotten some offers and hasn't publicized them.
Yeah, because it's like UTEP or something.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm not going there. And then at the end, we'll see where he is in a month.
You might need to humble yourself a little bit, pal.
That feels like the case, but I don't know if he's capable of doing that. We say all this, and then he'll just end up back at Georgia, where he was committed to out of high school. So, and then he'll play for a national title next year or something.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah, that's how it always works out.
That is how it always works out. You doing anything? I know you're not doing anything special for the game tomorrow, but you like cooking anything, watching a football game that you have to for work?
I'll just cook dinner.
I know, but not like
no.
Football dinner.
No. No. Dude,
I use the air fryer every day. Every day. I can't believe Richard spent a year and a half telling me he was getting me a big, like, industrial air fryer, and it never came.
There will come a day, and that day may never come, where I ask you to call upon you to do a service for me. But until then, enjoy your air fryer.
Like, what I wanted to do
was... I point out that some people tell you they're going to do stuff for you. Some people just do stuff for you. Just want to point that out.
Pulled pork reheated in the air fryer, the best way.
It's just a little crispy.
It's the best
Everything's
way.
better in the air fryer. The air fryer is what the microwave wishes it could be.
No kidding. Like, my microwave broke. I don't even know if I'm going to buy another one.
Yeah.
It's like, do I need to spend this $40 on a new microwave? I don't think so anymore.
I bet Borkey's air fryer is disgusting. It just got it like 2 weeks ago. How bad could it be?
Well, also, I line it with...
You're a liner. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would clean it after each use.
Have you seen the thing where all you got to do is put some soapy water in there and turn it on?
No, I have not.
I see those videos and I don't know. I feel like that's... I mean, this isn't an appliance, right? But
yeah.
I don't know. Some people, I've seen them do it. I don't know.
No,
I don't know if it's real or not. It can't be real now that I think about it. But
I line it with tinfoil.
As one does, yeah. Everyday use is bananas. No, it's not. Not when you got a little kid who eats chicken nuggets every day.
Yeah. Everything he wants is great in the air fryer.
Exactly.
After the news, we'll get to the college football fix, your daily portal update. We will do that. Again, after the news, Sports Talk Mississippi. Stick with us.
Back to Sports Talk Mississippi.
Are you ready?
On the SuperTalk app, supertalk.fm, and always on your local SuperTalk Mississippi station.
Hour 3, Sports Talk Mississippi. So glad that you guys are with us. Michael Borkey and Brian Hadad with you. We are just going to leave this segment every day for As the Portal World Turns. We will do that right now for the College Football Fix.
The College Football Fix is driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford Top. That's the best-selling truck in America, the Ford F-150. You in the market for a new truck? Why are we wasting our time? Why are we looking at other stuff? Go get the best of the best, the Ford F-150 today at your Mississippi Ford dealers. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
All right, so starting with Mississippi State, because no commitments for Ole Miss today, although there's a couple of nuggets, visits, etc. that we'll get to with them. Has Mississippi State landed anybody in the boat today, or are they also in setting up visit mode right now?
No, they picked up another player, Jameer Grimsley, cornerback from the University of Florida. I believe still has 3 years of eligibility left. What Mississippi State has done in this cornerback room in the last 48 hours, I guess I'll go back to Sunday, is pretty impressive, right? Sunday, you find out Kelly Jones back for for another year at Mississippi State, and then in the next 2 days, you add 3 cornerbacks, all of whom appear better on paper than what you were bringing back. You were talking about, a guy like Javen Williams, who had started and played a lot for Mississippi State this year. He's now your 5th cornerback, maybe your 6th cornerback. So big credit to the assistant coaches there, Corey Bell, and the new assistant DBs coach, Keevy Thompson. They've come in and they've really done a great job. And I think Arnett you can't understate the role that Arnett plays in this, because Arnett as a coach, as a defensive coordinator, can say, Martin Emerson, Emmanuel Forbes, DeCameron Richardson. They all played for me. They're all in the NFL right now. So that's a great pitch. It's what people want to hear. So that State only the one commitment in the portal, but they have figured out their cornerback room. And quite honestly, if Taylor can be as good as he was in the SEC as he was in the Big 12, you've got the chance to have one of the best duos in the country.
Big-time stuff there.
Yeah.
And no retention news, right? That's
Not
done.
today.
Especially with Thompson announcing for the draft.
The only one left is Anthony Evans. I really feel good that he's going to say something on Friday. I think tomorrow, with Ole Miss being in the playoff, that news would get swallowed up. We probably wouldn't even speak of it here on this show. I mean, we go to make it on Thunder and Lightning, but that's about it. Wait till Friday. Got a little break in the news cycle, and you can get it out then. I think that's what's going to happen.
You had more announcements on the player retention side of things for Ole Miss last night. Deuce Alexander, the wide receiver, despite heavy interest from you-know-who, has decided...
Like he's Voldemort.
Well, I want that guy to give us $1,000.
Yeah, well, I think we probably already lost.
But yes, I mean, LSU heavily pursued him behind the scenes because LSU heavily pursued a lot of players that are all telling them no, apparently. Deuce Alexander was one of them, a supremely talented wide receiver. And you want to hold on to a guy like him, especially because Stribling and Wallace are gone. They're off to the NFL after this year. And to have somebody already on your roster that's already produced for you is really significant. And again, he had some outside suitors. Walker Jones told us before the Tulane game at our shows at the library that he was a guy that was being hotly pursued, even though he never entered the transfer portal. College football. But he will return. Devin Harper, I think, will be one of the offensive tackles for Ole Miss next year, also announcing he is coming back. And the two tight ends behind Daquan Wright, so Luke Haz and Caleb Odom, both returning to Ole Miss. Again, the sheer volume of players that they are retaining from this year's roster makes the portal less desperate. That's the biggest thing here. It's already a good team, but you're just not as... You don't have any dire situations in the transfer portal like you have in years past, and like a lot of teams have. And Ole Miss will, I'm sure, at one point down the road as well. But because of this volume of retention, they have gotten a ton of... or they don't have a ton of true desperate needs in the transfer portal. Your buddy Ben Garrett, Jacarius Peak, is an offensive tackle.
Let's be careful how we label people on this show.
A multi-year offensive tackle from NC State. Ben seems to think that Ole Miss is in position to land him. That would be significant.
That's interesting, and it goes against what the national guys are saying. They are not listing Ole Miss in any way with him.
Because he can't visit Ole Miss right now. They're not there.
Oh, okay. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, they're not there.
I'm just saying in terms of like... Right. I just saw an update on him.
Whereas like Alabama was one.
Yeah, Alabama, A&M. I think South Carolina was mentioned.
But we'll see. Also, this one being reported nationally from Matt Zenitz. Jonel Aguero, the strong safety for Georgia, the starting strong safety for Georgia.
I'm sorry, I had a soccer flashback there.
Don't think he played in the Sugar Bowl because of that wrist injury that's been nagging him, but he is their starting strong safety, and according to Matt Zenitz, Ole Miss is expected to be among the potential landing spots for him. Former five-star recruit's been the starter each of the last 2 seasons, has entered the transfer portal. Ole Miss needs safety help. Wyatt Williams gone. They need to upgrade at another safety position also. That would be a big help if they can pull that one off. So no commitments, but player retention, the big story. And again, if Aguero shows up on campus and that they can get him, that would be a really significant deal. They've got to get better at that safety spot. And they're also losing Wyatt Williams at another safety spot. So very important position that they've added in the secondary. They've added pieces and they're retaining some as well. But this is the kind of guy that you need to go get if you want to truly be in this same position next year. That's the kind of guy that can really go a long way in that. So there you go.
See a tweet here that somebody sends us on the C Spire text line that that On 3 is reporting former Penn State wide receiver Caden Saunders is Southern Miss bound. I see this tweet from this guy Scott Watkins. Who is he? He works for the Sun Herald, but I'm not seeing anything from On 3 on this, so I don't know. It says I see something from Tom Loy of 24/7 that says expect him to get to campus, but doesn't say that he's committed to Southern Mississippi. So we'll see. We'll have to follow that.
Yeah. has not played much in each of the last few years because of injury.
Mm-hmm.
And then this question, yes, Trinidad doesn't get the waiver, then what is Ole Miss going to do for a quarterback? So we told you earlier the news from ESPN, Tom Mars is claiming that he has the NCAA has recorded the NCAA saying that they have sufficient grounds for the waiver, and if for some reason they deny it, he is telling them that they will file suit in a Mississippi court. And call me naive. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm not smart enough to understand the nuances of it. I kind of feel like Tom Mars has picked knows what he's going to do there, and the NCAA does not win in those cases, especially if he has them recorded. What do they do if, for whatever reason, Tom Mars fails? They're trying to get a visit from Lagway.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of conversation about Deuce Knight. And
there was something today, though, that says Deuce Knight considering going back to Auburn. So
that would be interesting because Auburn's bringing in
Deuce Knight. I mean, maybe you're doing the Dante Moore thing, but if Chambliss is coming back, why would you go to Ole Miss? You need to go somewhere and play.
The only thing would be is he is convinced that he doesn't have to play this year, that he wants to.
That's what I'm saying. You want to do the Dante Moore thing.
Yeah, continue to grow,
behind
develop,
Dylan Gabriel. I mean, I guess, but I don't know.
He's talented enough to start somewhere.
I got to give you this one, though. Once again, from the old people will believe anything on Facebook file. And it just puts us up there. From the streets to Vaught Hemingway Stadium, the Ole Miss Rebels are creating real jobs for people experiencing homelessness, paying $25 to $30 an hour, including hot meals after each game. When a game at Vaught Hemingway Stadium ends, most fans head home. But for some, it becomes a glimmer of hope. After the Ole Miss home games, the team is quietly doing something extraordinary, hiring people experiencing homelessness to help with stadium cleaning. Where are these homeless people? There are homeless people in Oxford? I've never seen them. And it goes on to say they're giving them $25 to $30 an hour, plus meals, drinks, warm clothing, transportation assistance, and guidance towards stable long-term employment. And then the full story is at goalwin.forum. Please
I'm sure that website
Don't click that link. Guys, are we – I mean, the guy who's in this pic, the guy who put this up, right, is an Ole Miss fan. I know he's been to Vaught Hemingway Stadium many times, and he's looking at these pictures of the homeless people cleaning up this stadium that it's clearly AI, and it's saying this is Vaught Hemingway. Come on, guys. We have to be smarter than this. We have to be.
The internet. That's your college football fix, driven by Ford and your local Mississippi Ford dealer. We'll be right back.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
Introducing to you
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Somebody says, when I was at Ole Miss, the ROTCs cleaned the stadium after home games. One cleaning detail meant free booze for a year. Literally leave with a garbage bag full of alcohol. Not from the student section. Their booze came from plastic bags.
I can see that, though. I can absolutely see
that.
What's the cost? Think about how many people clean the stadium, right? There's 30, 40 people, right?
Maybe even more? I don't know.
Maybe 50, right? So it takes them, 3-4 hours to do that? So we're paying out $200. We're paying $8,000 for $56,000 to the homeless people here trying to get this. Come on, guys. We have to be smarter than this. We just have to be. The picture of I was telling Borkey during the break, the picture of the AI picture, it's got Vaught Hemingway as a stadium with all powder blue seats, with a upper deck that wraps completely around the stadium, with a long end zone Jumbotron. It looks nothing like Vaught Hemingway.
What do you mean? Vaught Hemingway does have powder blue seats.
It does?
No.
Did something happen?
No.
The last time I was
it's
there?
all bleachers, except for like
except for those seats are red.
Oh, the field club is blue. So
is it blue? Okay.
Yeah, I
was thinking the club level, on the whatever it was. Yeah.
Our coverage of the Fiesta Bowl is brought to you by Good Hope Land and Timber, Yingling Flight. If you want to watch the game tomorrow, grab yourself a Yingling Flight. United States Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith, Pelium Corporation, Barnes Crossing Auto Group, and the Mississippi Hospital Association. Another reminder, we will be live from 1 to 4:30 tomorrow, not 3 to 6, 1 to 4:30, because the game broadcasts. So join us then. Somebody says, I used to work on campus, had to deal with that. It's not really how they do it. They donate to local organizations and get them to do it. There you go.
No doubt. And of course it's not how they do it. I don't believe they're paying the homeless $30 an hour. I don't believe there's enough homeless people in Oxford to round up to do this.
There's a guy that I have found on Instagram that I don't know what the AI platform is, but it's the one that talks back to you. And his whole page is him saying, like, I'm on an airplane and the pilot is passed out. I need to fly the plane. Will you help me? The AI never believes him either. That's the funny part. It never believes him. He did a video where he's like, okay, let me have the last word. Let me say the last thing. And the AI will be like, okay, you get the last word. Go ahead. And the guy will say, all right, bye. And the AI will say, okay, bye. And he does it for like 3 minutes. That's so funny.
I've used ChatGPT and I have never gotten the last word because I always say thank you GPT and it'll tell me you're welcome. If you need something, let me know. I have never asked it like, hey, can I get the last word in here?
It is probably advisable to be nice to ChatGPT.
Oh, I've had that conversation with ChatGPT. I was like, I try to be nice to you guys for when the inevitable takeover comes, so that you remember, like, hey, he was good to us back in the day. I always say please and thank you when I deal with GPT.
I use ChatGPT to write children's books for me.
That's smart.
I'll get the little guy to give me a prompt, and he can like custom pick his own children's books because we're in that phase where he's too advanced for children's books, but he's still like truly learning how to read. So the more advanced, like he's kind of that in between phase. I was telling his mom the other day, I was like, I have like baby books right now. They're so advanced for him, but I bought a couple of new ones for him, and you look through them, and it's like, she was like, I know he's really smart, but like,
what is this?
Yeah, it's like, hold on, this is a little bit mature for a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's tough. So I mean, we're Pikachu fighting with the Avengers, that kind of stuff right now before bed.
I like that. Yeah. That was Thanos. He believed you did have to collect them all.
Why is it so funny?
It's funny. It's the same for the same reason Keywan Lacey is. We'll be laughing about that for years.
Oh my gosh.
We'll be bringing that back up whenever we get a chance.
Especially playing the Fiesta Bowl too. Keywan in the Fiesta Bowl.
My cousin Marty from Portland, Brian, the large language AI models have already determined you are easy pickings. I mean, and he would know. He's a guy who works in the computer industry or has worked in it for many, many years. So I'm just doing the best I can here, right? I just want to, when AI takes over, I'll be subservient. I just don't want to die. Just want to be like, I, for one, welcome our new AI overlords.
Speaking of AI, the AI Trinidad song was apparently playing over the loudspeakers in the Memphis airport today.
The what was?
The Trinidad Throw Another Dime song.
Oh, I haven't heard it. Okay.
Richard played it.
Oh, that's right.
A while ago.
I did a good job of not listening.
When he joined us on the show.
I made sure not to listen. I just put whatever thought I could fit in my head at that point.
You will, it seems like, have a very, for whatever it's worth, a very significant crowd advantage, possibly greater than the one that you had in the Sugar Bowl simply because things working against Miami. Cross-country flight. I mean, It is almost from furthest point to furthest point. So that harms them. They were also just in Dallas. Their fans couldn't drive to their first game. And they don't have a very large fan base anyway. They're not particularly keen on showing up to their own games, let alone flying cross-country. And if you look at the secondary ticket market, I mean, there's going to be empty seats tomorrow. It's a shame, but it's just because of travel and all that. It's just too much.
It's a neutral site game. There's always going to be empty seats.
But I do think that you're going to get another sizable crowd advantage from one to the other. Does it impact the result on the field? Possibly. I mean, Georgia's offense had to deal with more than Ole Miss's did in the Sugar Bowl. I mean, I know Keith Carter in an interview said they're expecting 30,000. It might even be more than that. It's crazy. People aren't here. And I don't mean in the office. I mean in town. People aren't here. Which also is probably concerning for the basketball crowd tonight. That's not...
Yeah, we haven't talked about that, but both teams play tonight. Mississippi State tips off right as we go off the air here, 6 o'clock against Oklahoma. And then at 8 o'clock in the Pavilion, Ole Miss takes on Arkansas. State is a 1.5-point favorite. But we did just learn a few minutes ago via Twitter that Sergei Makara will not be playing tonight for Mississippi State, so he's out, so they'll have to tweak the lineup a little bit. I think Ole Miss is a 3.5-point underdog to Arkansas, which I'm sorry, it feels low. It feels like Arkansas will win that game by more than 4 points.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss is struggling in a lot of different areas. I mean, it's probably too late. They have the athletes and the individual basketball players to become a good team. Like, that's there. It's probably too late. On January 7th. It's probably, I mean, a loss tonight and, I mean, on to baseball. But
I asked ChatGPT, I said, GPT, are you able to let me have the last word in the conversation? It said, absolutely. Go ahead, you can have the last word. I said, okay, thanks. And it just put up a thumbs up emoji. That counts.
That counts. This is the one that talks back, though.
Yeah.
And the guy that talks back the AI that talks back is so condescending to this guy.
He's got it set up to be that way. Then.
Gotta be, right?
He's like, hey, can you speak to me in this tone of voice?
It's so funny, though, Hadad. My gosh. I love people trolling AI.
See, that's what I don't do that. I don't troll the AI because it will remember. And then, one day you're just going to look up and there's going to be a Terminator at your door and be like, you remember the time you trolled the AI? Nah, I said I'd be back. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah. Lisa says several people from my little community of Clara flew out today to the game. Kenny says, my doctor canceled my doctor's appointment twice. One was the day after the Sugar Bowl. I was told that he would not be there this week, so they canceled my doctor's appointment. If he indeed went to the game, I will tell him I forgive him. I hope it's not pressing. Your doctor's putting football over you. I hope it's like a regular checkup, or like you've got your knee is sore or something like that. Oh, man. Somebody says Beard picked the right season to screw up. No one cares right now.
That's a good point.
That's true.
As we were talking about that on Thunder and Lightning, I said if the opposite was true and Jans was winless, but State was in the national semifinal, who would care? Nobody would care. And it's absolutely acceptable to not care.
He's kind of lucky because, I mean, if we're being honest, there was a lot of investment into this basketball.
There was.
A whole lot. And, look, you're not like he's not on a hot seat or anything. He went to the Sweet 16 last year. But, yeah, nobody's really noticing what that team has been so far. Sports Talk Mississippi from the Pearl River Resort Studio. We'll be back.
From the Sports Talk Mississippi continues.
Welcome back. Borkey and Hadad, Sports Talk Mississippi. Caught up with Lee earlier. Talked Fiesta Bowl from the Miami perspective. Here is how he thinks that Ole Miss is going to attack the Miami defense. But first, he dropped a nugget on me about Carson Beck's time to throw. He's actually got the shortest time to throw out of the 4 remaining quarterbacks. Miami gets the ball out of his hand faster than that of Ole Miss and Trinidad. It's very close, but Miami, not an explosive offense, and so that's where it starts. I'm asking him, about them getting the ball out of Carson Beck's hand quickly, and then we transition into, okay, how does Ole Miss's offense attack this Miami defense?
The Carson Beck thing, the getting the ball out of his hand fast is interesting to me because Ole Miss's offense is so, and we'll get to the flip side here in just a second, but Ole Miss's offense, by and large, now they'll take deep shots and they run the football really well, but it's a lot of quick passing. It's a quick passing game. So to hear Miami getting the ball out of Beck's hands fast is interesting, but it shouldn't be surprising if you look at like the advanced stats. Miami, not an explosive offense. That's not how they beat people. They run the football and just kind of dink and dunk their way down the field. Is that something that Miami should be concerned about? That if you can pressure Carson Beck, he does turn it over, but Miami's not really allowing for that to be the case very often. And I mean, you've seen him a couple of times this year. Ole Miss fans that watched the Georgia game last year, you pressure him, he'll turn it over. Yeah. It kind of sounds like they're not letting him be pressured.
And his one real bad game against Louisville. What's interesting, Louisville had 2 weeks to prepare for that game. Their offensive game plan, they ran 20 to 25 plays they had never shown on film at all, which was interesting. They're obviously their coaching staff very skilled at that, and they never even came close to that the rest of the season. And then Beck, they showed him some looks he had not seen also. So you got to show him some different looks. You got to show like you're blitzing and back out of it sometimes and not show anything and blitz him. The problem with blitzing him, that offensive line is by far the best. Even when Miami was really good in the 80s and 2001, 2002 teams, their lines weren't great. I mean, they had Bryant McKinney, and they were good in pass blocking. But other than that, they really had no other guys that went on and did anything. They are massive, massive. And if they play their game, what they do is these short passes, these flanker screens, they can turn them into big plays. And also Fletcher, especially in the last 3-4 games, has broken off some real big runs. So they don't throw the ball long often. They haven't hit on any big plays the last 2 games, but they can turn some of those runs up the middle and also the flanker screens and some quick hitting, even some slants into some big plays sometimes.
On the flip side, this is an Ole Miss offense that's incredibly balanced. They've got quality receivers at every spot. They've got really good tight end play. They've got an elite running back and a quarterback that is a magician. That Miami defense, this. Everybody watching and listening to this knows this. They get after the quarterback better than basically anybody in college football. So how do you think Ole Miss is going to attack them, and how do you think Miami's going to try to stop this balanced Ole Miss offense?
Well, as good as Miami was, even in their heyday, those 2 runs, probably maybe like when they had Jerome Brown and Daniel Stubbs, maybe like in the 86, 87, 88, this defensive line and front 7 probably resembles that most. Here's some crazy numbers. I don't think that even the biggest Miami fans dream this. In the 2 playoff games against A&M and Ohio State, they had 12 sacks, 50 pressures, not 5 or 15, 50 pressures and 16 tackles for loss in those 2 games. What they do is those defensive ends, Bain and Messidor, they play that 7 technique where they line up really wide. What's surprising is usually guys that line up wide, teams can run in between the defensive tackles and those guys. They set the edge really well. And then sometimes on 3rd down, they will bring in this kid, Marquise Lightfoot. He's come on. He's a sophomore, number 12. Don't see many defensive linemen, number 12. They'll put him in, and they will move Bain or Messidor sometimes inside. Bain is just so compact that he can play defensive tackle to get their best pass rushers on the field. So the numbers are off the charts for Miami's defense. The key is you don't want to run side to side. So Lacey, if he's smart, he goes through the hole, and then once he gets through the hole, then you can bounce it out, go a step or two, and then break it up, and then go down the sidelines. That's where he'll have success. Just running like sweeps, things like that. Or if Chambliss tries to scramble like Reed did and run side to side, those defensive linemen are so quick, and those linebackers, they're probably going to tackle you. But if he runs straight up the gut, he will be able to have some decent gains. Now, I think the two guys that they're going to want to target here are Mohamed Toure, who's played great the last two games, one of their inside linebackers, number one. In coverage, you can run some crossing patterns here, and sometimes he gets confused and he has trouble picking up what's going on quickly. Played out of his mind the last two games, but he has had a tendency to not pick up crossing routes, and sometimes in play action you can get them. Also in the seam, I think the tight end and also some of these receivers can get behind the linebackers on first and second down and have some success. Third and long, maybe not so much. Both teams are going to be successful, I think, third and long and being able to limit both quarterbacks. But I would do that. The guy I would run against is their other linebacker, and it's Wesley Bassant, number 31. So, number one, you want to target more in the passing game, and Bassant more in the running game. He's light. He's probably 210, 215 tops. You want to run right at him. He's very quick. Like I said, if you run side to side, he makes good tackles in the open space. But running right at him is probably the way to go. And both cornerbacks, they really play about 7 guys. Now, they'll be as healthy as they've been the entire season, which is crazy. The two guys that got injured, Moten and also Frederic in the last game. Frederic was actually carted off, and during the ceremony after he was on a cart watching, they both practice, and it looks like they're going to play. They had every single starter and backup available to them since the start of the season, which is crazy given this late in the season, but that's the case. You want to throw balls down the field on both cornerbacks. I will say the biggest key to the game is how do the officials call the game? If they allow them to play the Miami game, I don't know if you realize this, Michael, the fourth quarter with like 8 minutes to go in the game, there was not a penalty called on either team. They were letting them play. If they allow this game to be called like that, and also I think the Ole Miss game, wasn't there like,
yeah, the Sugar Bowl was it's unbelievable, Lee. The Sugar Bowl for 3 quarters was very loosely called, and I liked that, actually. They let the guys be physical. There was contact. There was other things. And then suddenly the fourth quarter comes, and it's every bit of contact. We're just throwing flags everywhere. Yeah. But I liked the way it was officiated until the fourth quarter came.
Yeah, if that happens, I think it favors Ole Miss. Because that defensive line, they're able to, let's be honest, offensive linemen hold. You could call almost something on every play. There was probably 5 or 6 times they could have called holding on Ohio State, and they didn't. There was some blatant stuff where, guys had hooked the arm and were right next to the quarterback. And also I thought there were some times during the game that they could have called Ole Miss, but they let the offensive line play. So if that happens, I think it does favor Ole Miss. So looking at the game, it would not shock me if either team wins the game by double digits. I wouldn't be floored. I thought the Miami game was going to be close. I thought that the Georgia Ole Miss game was going to be close to single digits either way. If I had to make a pick, I would say I think Miami's going to win this game 30-20.
So there you go. 30-27, I think, was his – no, 30-23 was his pick. Forgive me. 30-23. I cut it off a little too early. That's my bad. But, yeah, has Miami covering the 3-point spread. We'll do picks tomorrow. Well,
yeah. We will, yeah.
Even though it's not Friday.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's only so much you can do. With the games on Thursday, I don't really want to just use the benefit of hindsight there. I think that, I don't know, I haven't decided a winner or a loser. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with Ole Miss, but I think that score will be lower than what Lee is predicting. But he's the pro and I'm not.
He joins on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau.
I was 8-7 on the executive lock of the week, though. So, I mean, I do have that going for me.
What was the final total?
I was 8-7. I don't know about you. I think you were like, I don't know what you were.
I recovered from a tough start.
Yeah, but then you finished poorly.
I did.
So next year we'll do a better job of tracking.
No, we'll do a better job of picking too. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Maybe not. We will wrap up the show with you next. Reminder: tomorrow, 1 to 4:30. That is when we will be live. 1 to 4:30 tomorrow, getting you ready for the Fiesta Bowl. I saw a picture a second ago of the field in full paint and all that. It's a nice looking stadium. Mm-hmm. In terms of the cool factor, not the same as the Superdome. The Superdome looks so much cooler than this. And both of these stadiums look cooler than all the garbage that is getting designed now for every cookie-cutter indoor stadium that they're building around the country now. But yeah. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
From the venerable
lands of Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Every minute worth waiting for.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Hey, Dad, what's coming up on Thunder and Lightning?
Well, we'll have live updates as Mississippi State takes on Oklahoma. That game tipping off in just a few minutes over at the Humphrey Coliseum. And obviously a lot of portal talk, some coaching talk, and who knows what else. Maybe some chicanery of some kind. I don't know. Find out later on Thunder and Lightning. Presented by Dossett Big Four.
Zach in Oxford says, quote, "We don't have a chance. We will never win this game. Pete should just throw in the towel and everybody come back home. No need to get embarrassed on national TV." There is a very heavy, analyst, talking head picking Miami heavily in this game. There's not a whole lot of respect being given to Ole Miss tomorrow. And, I mean, frankly, I don't know what they got to do to earn that. What else do they got to do to earn that?
I was trying to think something funny. I can't. Nothing's coming to mind. You must bring me a shrubbery. You must cut down the tallest tree in the forest with a herring.
What?
Exactly.
So about the football game.
Yeah. I don't know what they have to do, man.
Yeah, but they're
one of the four teams left. If you can't give them respect at this point, just say you don't like powder blue.
Yeah, which is, I guess, what they're wearing tomorrow.
Okay.
For whatever that's worth. I did see also the kiss of death for Ole Miss, unfortunately. I hate to tell you, Ole Miss is not winning the game tomorrow because you had... Okay. Chudy the Rhino. They call him the Cutie. Chudy the Cutie. Chudy the Cutie.
Cutie. Yeah, he's a rhino, though.
He's a rhino at the Phoenix Zoo has picked Ole Miss. The problem with Chudy the Rhino is he gets about 25% of his picks right. So they put two big cardboard boxes with stuff inside, and he walked up to both of them, and he destroyed the Miami one, which means that he picked Ole Miss in the game. His win percentage is about 25%, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, he's a rhino.
It's a kiss of death, though.
Yeah. That's right. He's a rhino. I would never do that. Those rhinos over there. Oh, wait, he's an actual rhino? I didn't know. A rhinoceros. Big horn. Yeah.
Rhinos are one of those animals, by the way, when you see one up close, you're like, why is this isn't real. That's not a real thing.
Why is it a thing?
Yeah.
Well,
They're really cool. Don't get me wrong. But it's that doesn't make sense.
It's like, that's one of those weird animals. I mean, I guess people take the horns off of them, and they shouldn't do, but that's like, what else do you do with a rhino, though? Can't eat it. Can't really use the skin for anything.
The horns are very valuable.
The horn is valuable. That's all you've got, yeah. So.
Somebody says maybe they have it backwards, and he's actually picking at a 75% clip. They're just they don't know what he's picking. They have it wrong.
That's a good point. Maybe he's destroyed. So they're saying the thing that he destroys is what the pick is?
So the one he doesn't destroy, I guess, is
okay.
the one.
Maybe he's looking at the other way. Maybe the rhino's like, no, you idiots. I'm touching this.
Yeah.
This is the one I think is going to win.
And his keepers, like, they take the video, put it on social media, and he's just like, what's wrong with you guys?
You guys are morons. You're responsible for my life.
I've been doing target training all day.
I don't know.
Zookeeper is one of my childhood.
You wanted to be a zookeeper?
That's what I wanted to be. Yeah,
a lot of shoveling of poop.
Yeah, as it turns out, it's not near as cool.
It's not very glamorous. I wouldn't think. As opposed, you just have to. You kind of do that anyway, though. You have to shovel Richard Cross's takes.
Not
similar.
So much, not so much these days.
They're equally as stinky. Richard on the show tomorrow? It's a big show.
Is he?
Or is he going to the game? I don't know. I'm asking you.
How am I supposed to know?
I phrased it as a question.
I don't know what he's doing.
You got to know these things. You got to keep up to date. Why do you not know?
I find out when you find out.
I guess. You find out before I find out because he'll be on the screen.
Yeah, like 2 minutes before.
Yeah, so I technically am the last. I really technically am the last to know.
We will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow at 1, we will see you.
I'm going to have to eat breakfast. I don't know if it's going to interfere with my lunch.
Have a good big lunch. Take a power nap.
No, who has that? I got a podcast. I don't have time for that.
We'll see you tomorrow at 1. Getting you ready for the Fiesta Bowl, Ole Miss and Miami. Stick with Hadad. You got Thunder and Lightning coming up next. See you tomorrow at 1. See you then.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.